Listen, it sounded like someone was sawing through my wall and there was water, like a waterfall. And I called Justin, I put it on speakerphone and I said, babe, this is not good. Like something really, really bad has happened. He's like, I'm just now pulling into the plant. And I'm like, it's really bad. And he goes, okay, I'm pulling away from the plant. and he came home, and for 25 minutes, that's how long it takes him. I prayed and I called him again. I said, do I need to take the kids for safety? I got the dogs out of our room because I thought that my room was going to blow up and we were all going to die. I was really, really scared. And he came home and he
what was it, Lindsay? What was it?
He opens the shower door and he said, babe, looks like my toothbrush fell off the ledge and somehow got turned on. Turned the toothbrush off. And we were saved. My hero.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm a little bit shocked. So, can I speak on behalf of the audience?
Please.
Here's what everybody. Y'all feel free to chime in and tell everybody that you're agreeing with me here.
Yes.
So I learned a lot about you already. So here's the question.
Okay.
You know, there are on this planet, when something happens, there are a million possibilities.
Yes.
You went straight to the house is going to blow up.
I went straight to the Lord in prayer.
Well, that
for
was
my house.
After your house is going to blow up. I mean, why couldn't it have been that there is a mole who is bore into your house?
Listen, when I was like in
How about,
when
a
I was in
tiny
middle
little
school, our water
It was
heater
an Al-Qaeda
exploded.
mole. It was
okay?
gonna blow up. Okay.
Our water heater exploded when I was in middle school in the bathroom right next to my room, and so I thought, it's happening again, and there's going to be fire
that's
and
at least more realistic
water
than a bomb
everywhere. I thought it
can
was
see
over.
that.
I almost called my neighbors. I was like, do I need to call?
It was over.
Oh, my
Listen.
word.
I just want to know, why was there like a lack of investigation?
I went in
Because I
there.
feel like Justin got there, and within 5 minutes, he was like, yeah, it's a toothbrush.
That's
It was
another
within
great
like 30
question.
seconds.
Yeah.
But I went in the bathroom
I mean,
and
you're
I
dead
couldn't
anyway.
find the sound.
Why not at least
I
go
walked
see
all
why you're going to
over.
die?
I don't think due diligence was exercised.
No, I'm going to die.
Listen.
That's what's determined.
I have
at least
never
want to see why I'm going to die.
proclaimed to have excellent technical skills. I've never brought.
Technical skills.
Nah.
It's opening the shower. Like,
Well, I
I'm
thought
pretty
the
sure a
shower was
3-year-old
going to
could
blow me
turn
up.
that off.
So I did not
how to
open the
work.
shower
The
because I
thing
didn't want to
about
die.
this business, guys, is once you have these tools and stuff in place, you can sit in your underwear in your office and have fun and act a fool and make as much as you want, because that's what these tools do.
We are not wearing our underwear, by the way.
Oh, I'm definitely
I'm wearing underwear.
I mean, we're not wearing.
Lindsay,
Hey,
please
you
speak
guys
for yourself.
Do
I
not.
decided to
We're
wear
not
it.
wearing just our underwear.
Oh, okay.
That is different.
That's different.
That is a completely different statement.
Completely different stuff.
Those are different words.
Yeah, it's like, why? I mean, talking about toothbrushes and then
I'm telling you.
I don't know where she's
What has happened to this program?
She's hijacked it. It used to be a nice Christian show.
Yes, and you know that
Christian-
guy who came up to you and he
Justin,
says,
come
"Hey,
get
can we
Lindsay."
just get through the weird stuff to the business?"
Yeah.
Now we know why.
Now we know what he's talking about. Now we know. You know, it all started with the CBD comment, and
I
ever
just
since
meant
then,
we weren't like
we.
inappropriate off camera. That's all I meant.
Yes.
Yes. No one's.
Oh, we're definitely inappropriate off the camera too, but that's a whole nother story.
we leave the inappropriateness to when we're on the camera. Any other questions?
Yeah,
The whole thing is, I have not in my heart like.
Listen.
That's defensive. She's got in my heart.
She's starting to feel guilty.
No, I'm telling you, I thought that toothbrush was going to set my house on fire.
I'm sending a text message to your pastor and asking him, please do not listen to this episode 394. It was innocent.
It was innocent.
I really did think that my house was going to explode and I need to protect my children and my dogs. And like, I was trying to figure out a plan for safety.
The whole just the worst comment and
Worst comment.
ever made, and one that still leaves us all asking, why is there an electric toothbrush in the shower?
Thank you for listening to our show today.
A blog will help you do that. Number 6, a blog will help you tell your story. And I want to tell you, nothing sells better. Nothing you do. There is nothing you can do or say that is going to do better for you than telling your story. Your story has more power and more potential for you to turn a profit, to grow your platform, to be able to widen your footprint, to have more impact, to be able to reach more people in a much more deeper and meaningful way that builds that rapport that you so desperately need and want for your business. Nothing will do that better than telling your story. Everybody's got one. I like what Eric Thomas said one time. He says, I might not have been through what you've been through, but I've been through my go through. And telling people what you've had to go through helps them understand, okay, this is a real person. It encourages them. What is encouraging people? It's literally taking courage and putting it on the inside of them. When I tell my story of how it was just in 2008, I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I was almost, just steps away from being homeless. Our house was being foreclosed on. We were literally days away from get out of the house, a house that we had lived in my whole life. I was raised there, been in my family for years. It was the old family farm. My great-grandparents met at a barn dance on that piece of property. Telling that story and finding myself in a food bank looking for benevolence to feed a family of five children and a wife, actually a family of 7. Telling that story informs people that, hey, I don't know where you're at, but I've had my own thing. I get struggle. And it also lets them understand why I'm so passionate about what I do. Because the very training, the tools, the technology that I use today is how I, just in a short period of just a decade, have gone from the outhouse back to the penthouse. But more than the softwares, the systems.
Why is it that people don't want to grow? Why is it that they just settle for being less than what they are capable of being? Why is it they shy away from doing their stuff and challenging themselves and taking life on and making it an exciting adventure? Why is it? Because living your dream, it's hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard living your dream. We are in charge of our attitudes. And when you're in charge of your attitude, you say, if it's hard, then do it hard. I won't allow this to stop me. I don't have the option of easy. I don't have the option, and I don't think you do, or any of us do, of going around trying to find a dream that's a little dream that doesn't require much responsibility or not too stressful or won't be too much of a hassle. No, no, no. I am convinced that life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. An optimist sees an opportunity in every calamity. A pessimist sees a calamity in every opportunity. What can make it okay? Your attitude about it. That you decide that this is not going to determine who I am. Charles Swindoll said about attitude, he said, the longer I live, the more I realize the impact attitude has on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures and successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearances, giftedness, or skill. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude.
If there's anything in life that you don't currently have right now, it's because of who you are and how you think. And I know you're strong enough to do it because you're human. And every human has what it takes to get past whatever they're going through if they decide to. Push through it. Push through it. Tragedy and trials come to everybody. Only the strong survive. Y'all running from pain. Y'all running from challenges. You telling me how difficult your life is. Do you understand it is the difficulty that's going to prepare you and take you to that next level? I'm here just like you here, and I promise you, I ain't leaving without the degree. I will not leave without that goal. I will not leave without that dream. I will not leave this university until I'm successful. I will not leave this job. I will not leave this client. I will not leave this opportunity until I get it.
You're listening to TW3 Radio, inspiring, informative, and entertaining talk and music for the entrepreneur and small business owner. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining talk and music. You're listening to TW3 Radio.
Could a man hit a target he could not see? That's a pretty good question. Here's another one. How can you hit a target you do not have. Besides, planes are built for flying. Ships are built for sailing. Houses are built for living. And man, too, was built for purpose. He was designed for accomplishment. He's engineered for success. He's endowed with the seeds of greatness. And the greatest danger we as human beings have is when we do not do anything at all. People today complain of lack of time. It's not lack of time that's the problem. It's the lack of direction. Are you a wandering generality? Or are you a meaningful, specific? Are you going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday? If that's the reason you're going tomorrow, you won't be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday because you're 2 days older and no closer to the goal you do not have. What about you personally? Have you got your goals laid out? Are you a meaningful, specific, or are you a wandering generality?
See, you are part of an equation, and you are needed. Part of why we should begin to look at how we give up our lives, that we got to begin to see, what is it that I'm supposed to do? What is my life work? And then give ourselves to that. Because as we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, as you begin to take on this new era that we're in, if you decide that I'm going to begin to start living life, I'm going to start giving more of myself, I'm going to start putting out more, contributing more to life. Here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you that life will take on a whole new meaning for you. I guarantee you that life takes on a whole new dimension. That you'll be happier, you have a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment in life, that now you will begin to take off on some new paths to some newer horizons. That you'll begin to see life totally different than most people.
You got to have those long-range goals. And the rule is a simple one. You go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll always be able to see further. Are you a wandering generality? Or are you a meaningful, specific?
And most of us go through life because we're not using that which we've been given, that we are punished, that we're going through life getting up in the morning with no reason to get up. There's a scripture, when I heard it, I couldn't understand it. I say, how cold? He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away. He that hath a generous view of life, he that has courage, he that hath initiative, he that hath resourcefulness.
I say it with all of my heart. I know in my mind that man was designed for accomplishment, that he's engineered for success, that he is endowed with the seeds of greatness.
You're listening to TW3 Radio, inspiring, informative, and entertaining talk and music for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3, the most powerful marketing tools, training, and technology on planet Earth. Planet Earth. Get ready to earn, enjoy, and experience more than you ever dreamed was possible. If you're tired of just getting by and ready to really thrive, then buckle in and listen up. Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Thank you, Keith. And this is Terry Wilson, and you are listening to our podcast tonight at TerryWilson3.com. And we have a wonderful show for you guys. And for you guys looking on the camera, you might be asking, why is Terry wearing his Braves jersey? Well, you're about to find out because we are with a special guest tonight. Can't speak highly enough about this guy. Been in baseball for 60 years at all different levels, and just a wonderful human being. And we're just so lucky to have him, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only, the legend in my mind, Bobby, Coach Bobby Christie. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing well.
Well, it's good to have you on tonight, brother.
Well, thank you.
So tonight we're talking about, are you a LinkedIn All-Star? And we're lucky to have Bobby with us because he's going to be bringing the heat tonight, Reagan. They don't have to listen to your pops tonight. They can hear someone that knows what they're talking about.
That's going to be a change of pace.
Yeah. I'm telling you what, I might get...
whiplash.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute. There's actually some value being... People might start listening to the show. We keep this heat up.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Hey, so LinkedIn All-Star, I tell you, I love that platform because it's so powerful in what you can do. And the problem is so many people either don't understand the power of LinkedIn and the platform and what it can do for you in business, or they sort of know about it, but they misuse it. Have you ever been spammed to death, Bobby, on LinkedIn?
I get spammed every day, and it drives me crazy.
Oh, I had one the other day. You'll get a kick out of this guy. He was spamming me to death on LinkedIn, and his whole pitch was he was going to show me how to generate unlimited leads on LinkedIn and not be a nuisance while he was just bugging the pee out of me.
That's kind of ironic.
You know, I think that's amazing because I have in my banner that I do lead generation.
Yeah.
And I get everybody calling me or, instant messaging me, direct messaging me, and getting in touch with me saying, they can generate leads for me. And it's like, well, guys, that's what I do.
Yeah. Did you not read what I do? It's just amazing.
And, it's obvious that they haven't read what I do because it's right there in the banner.
Well, it's obvious that they're just pushing that out to everyone. It's not even meant to go specifically to you, which is tells me they probably could sign up with Bobby and learn a thing or two before they start marketing anymore.
Well, one of the things that LinkedIn has done and is that their algorithm has recently changed, and the people who are getting spammed are getting deleted.
Oh.
So, I mean, if you get clipped as, somebody who's basically pitching over direct message without developing a relationship first, LinkedIn is pulling the plug on you.
Well, I think that's great because all they're doing is protecting their platform. That's great. That tells me that they're serious about their platform and the value it offers and keeping other people from abusing it. So that's pretty cool.
And the other thing that they've really started cracking down on is, the companies that have, connections by bots and, automatically get, 50 to 100 connections a day. LinkedIn has capped how many connections you can get on a per week basis. And if they find another IP address adding names to your account, they're going to pull the plug on your account.
Beautiful. That's great. That's great news then, because I've always loved it. Matter of fact, we got a couple training modules back in the TW3 platform where I have used it to be able to go after high-end, high-quality avatars that would fit within what I'm trying to do. But I individually, specifically reach out to that person. I'm not just trying to blanket a bunch of people. And so I'm glad that they're putting things in place that allows people like you and I to continue to use the platform to make those strategic connections that we want, because that's the thing I love about LinkedIn. It's in the business ecosystem. So I can specifically, hey, I only want to deal with realtors in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, with the power of LinkedIn, I know how to filter for that and do that. So I'm glad that they're protecting that. So let's go around the horn. Reagan, how was your day today? I heard you got to motivate some people with words.
It started poorly, but it's improving.
Boy, the power of words.
Wedding coordination is not in my future. It's never going to be anything. I used to think I liked planning stuff. I don't know why I thought that. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. But yeah, we went to a well-known Chinese restaurant, upper-end Chinese restaurant for catering. And We worked a couple weeks. We worked a couple months actually trying to get an appointment, talking to people, get it set up. They didn't return emails, so we called like the corporate office, and they put us in touch with the owner. And after speaking to the owner, he put us told us over the phone. He gave us an appointment for today at 11 a.m. at this selected place, and we get there, and they weren't ready. They didn't know anything about it. We talked to one lady, and she's like, "You have a sampling today?" It just didn't go well. There was a little bit of a. If you've ever met my fiance, she's a very sweet and polite, young girl, and she's very kind to everyone she meets. She's very talkative and very personal, whereas I'm a little bit more dry. Don't really open up very well. So they had only spoken to her, and within 30 seconds, there was a tonal shift from what they had been dealing with to dealing with me.
Well, they went from sort of the niceties of your fiance to the business end of
myself.
Yeah. So
that being said, we got it taken care of. It came down to, I'm ready to leave, is basically what I told everybody. I was like, I don't think this is worth it. We can't schedule an appointment. I don't think we could handle a wedding. Don't you think that's fair? And, they were trying to get a hold of the owner, see what happened. But no, they actually ended up giving us like $250 worth of food from today, just from sampling. They made us full plates and platters and said, "No, you take it home."
Well, the worst position to be in is when you feel like you're having to beg people to take your money and beg them to do business with you. That's just a terrible position.
Yeah, like I'm fine with them saying we don't have the staffing or we don't have a coordinator or anything. Like honestly, just a bare minimum, like we can't do it. I'm like, oh, fair enough. That's totally fine. My feelings aren't hurt. I'll go somewhere else. But to be like holding me by a string and be like, maybe, like I don't do that. Just tell me yes or no.
No, I get that. I get that. River, how was your week?
Great weekend. Just waking up about an hour ago, so still waking up. Yeah.
So apparently a great weekend, I guess, in so many words. But that was good. But it's good. You're a working young man, so it's nice to be able to go out.
Yeah.
River, Bobby River likes to go out and work out at 11 o'clock at night at the gym. Go figure that. I normally like to work out in the morning, but he's one of those that goes to work out. And Bobby, you'll have to pray for my kids because I know you're a believer and you're also in baseball. And so I got one in here that just loves baseball, and I got one that's not such a baseball fan. So if you could give any words of encouragement to my oldest here, that just like, they ought to put a shot clock on baseball.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out Chinese food at a wedding. I mean, how come, call some barbecue place and have them back it up to the door.
Hey, I mean, that would be my preference. My wife's going to be, she's Chinese though. So she's got a lot of say in what the food's going to be. I just go along with it.
Yeah. He's just underwriting this ordeal. He's not actually picking it.
I'm here to make sure it happens. I'm not necessarily the one to make the choices.
Oh, goodness. Well, listen, guys, we got a great power-packed show for you tonight. Bobby is going to be talking and training on LinkedIn. He's got a great training coming up that you definitely want to stay tuned for. And this is something you can use. And I'm so excited about this because even if you're not a TW3 member, even if you're not in our ecosystem, if you're out there and you're in business, this is going to be training and value that you can take right now where you're at and improve your business. So if you're out there and you're in insurance, real estate, direct sales, you've got a business, you're in coaching or whatever area you occupy, what Bobby's going to bring to you tonight is just going to be of the utmost value because, hey, LinkedIn's free. And so some of this, to get in on the platform now, to use some of these tools and stuff, you might have to pay them this or that. But just to get in and learn how that platform can really improve your business is really exciting. So we're excited to have Bobby with us tonight and offering that. And also excited about next week, interviewed Tristan Bowden from the group Chicago, Kenny Loggins and Richard Marks and tons of other, Michael McDonald. The guys played with everybody from the 80s and 90s when I was listening to music. He's also an inspiring person because he's a cancer survivor. He was given a 14% chance of survival after 5 years, and that was over 12 years ago. Oh. And so he's got a great story about, fighting back and winning at when the odds are against you. So I tell you, I am and Bobby, I don't know if you're this way, but I am a sucker for a David and Giant story, or David and Goliath. Oh,
big time. Yeah.
I love it because I think we can all identify with being against something that's just bigger than us.
That's very true.
Yeah, so I'm excited about bringing him to the TW3 studios for you guys and listening to that. And I wanted to tell you also, for you elite members that are on with us tonight, that Cliff Ravenscraft will be with us this Wednesday night at 9 p.m. in our mastermind. We've got an all-star lineup this whole month of February. We're calling this the month of love. And we're having outside coaches from TW3's ecosystem that have been in business for years online, achieving at high levels. I've asked some of them, hey, would you stop by my little corner of the world and just drop some value bombs on our audience? And he said, I would love to. So if you have questions, whether it be online marketing questions, whether it be mindset questions, he is the mindset answer man. So that's going to be his wheelhouse if you've got things of that nature. But he can also field some online marketing questions and podcast questions as well, because, well, quite frankly, that's how you know him, because he's been online and been able to do that. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. Reagan, are we taking questions?
Yeah, so in segment 3, we're going to be taking your questions as we normally do. If you guys will. We have some members that are kind enough for us to sort of answer a lot of your questions. So when you send those through the chat, typically one of our members will kind of answer that for you. The only thing we do ask is that if you got a question, just try and keep it clean, positive, and relevant.
Clean.
And if you can't do those things, that's okay, as long as it's funny.
Yes, if it's funny, that's where the grace comes in. We're not legalistic.
It's covered by humor.
It's covered by humor.
Yep.
So, it's just applying the humor will make all the other stuff go away. So, guys, when we get back, Coach Bobby is going to be dropping value bombs, easy for you to say, on us on how you can take your money, business, and life to new levels using the power of LinkedIn. So when we get back, you're going to hear from Coach Bobby on that right after this. Join us February 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time as we welcome to the TW3 studio legendary rock and roll drummer Chris M. Bowden. You've danced, dated, and cruised with tons of the hits that crawled out of the pocket and groove he created with artists such as Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald, Al Jarreau, and mega band Chicago. So join us Monday, February 8th at 9 p.m. as he shares his stories of playing, recording, and touring with the biggest hit makers and bands from the past 5 decades. Also sitting in with us to offer his insights, inspiration, and decades of entrepreneurial experience, W3Radio.com's own Tom from Chi-Town. So don't miss this special night of inspiration, information, and illustrations of how you can make tomorrow the best day ever. Because you are worth more. Got yourself a good thing. It's a good thing. Woo. It's a good thing. Got yourself
Hi, this is Linda Wilson Gordon with Insights with Linda. I'm talking to you today from the beautiful Pacific Northwest, literally right next to the Olympic Mountains, a truly gorgeous part of the country. I want to tell you just a little bit about me and my background. I currently coach and train financial services professionals and business owners across the country on how to make their business more profitable and how to reduce their federal tax bite. My insights have been gained over a 30-year career in the high-tech financial services, independent business, and entrepreneurial arenas. I really hope you'll join me Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on TW3 Radio, where I'll be talking and also interviewing guests about a variety of business and entrepreneurial insights, and also talking about mindset and what it really takes to succeed. If you have questions you would like to ask me, or you want to connect with me for any reason, you can always reach me on my website at lindawilson3.com. My podcast is streaming on TW3 Radio and also on the TW3 Radio app. It's also on demand on my website. I can't wait to connect with you there. And please do share with others you think would like to know a bit more about Insights with Linda. Insights gained from a 30-year career as an independent entrepreneur.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner. And now, back to the TW3 studios with Terry Wilson.
All right, so I am excited about this. I'm going to turn it over to Coach Bobby and let him talk to you about how to be a LinkedIn All-Star right now.
Hey, everyone. Question. Are you a LinkedIn All-Star? If you aren't, I'm here to tell you that it's your gateway to success. It's no secret that I'm a huge fan of LinkedIn. I think it's the best tool around today for generating new business. I'm willing to bet that just about every new client you get this year will have a LinkedIn profile. So my question is this: are you a LinkedIn All-Star? A LinkedIn All-Star profile ensures that you're going to stand out from the crowd. A great profile is the key to building a solid foundation on which you can grow your network. Think about this. Your LinkedIn profile is highly likely to be the first impression you make on a prospect or a contact. It's important that your profile not only be complete, but also compelling or interesting. LinkedIn is great, but it does have a few drawbacks. The first is that it's fickle. If you do something stupid on LinkedIn, you're going to pay dearly. Dearly in terms of the search rankings. Second, it's always evolving. This means you have to keep up with the changes. If you want to have results, that is. LinkedIn is not a set it and forget it proposition. It's a living, breathing organism. And the reason it's this way is because of its algorithm. LinkedIn is first and foremost a database, but it's also a search engine. It's the world's largest professional network. The numbers alone speak for themselves. Currently, there's 722 million members in 200 countries and territories around the world. Their goal is to get to 1 billion members, then from 1 billion to grow to 3 billion. Right now, 154 million Americans have profiles. And get this, 12%, or 18.5 million Americans, visit LinkedIn at least once a day. I've been in sales and marketing a long time, and I really like it when everyone that I want to do business with can be found in one place. Okay, so how are people using social media today? This slide speaks volumes. Social media is built for mobile users. 88% use it to access Facebook. 70% use it to access YouTube. And more than half, 57%, use it to check in on LinkedIn. The point I'm making is this: all of the content that you put onto the internet has to be optimized for mobile devices. And here at TW3, we have the ability to do just that. When you look at the users of LinkedIn, one thing jumps off the page at you. Our ideal clients and prospects. Those are the people basically 26 to 55 years old. Well, they're right in the sweet spot. And as to income, the same thing applies. Okay, here's where we get into the stuff about the algorithm. What's your LinkedIn score? Did you even know that you had a LinkedIn score? Your LinkedIn score refers to something called the Social Selling Index. It tells you how you rank in your industry and in your network. 4 things make up your score. Each one is worth 25 points. First is your LinkedIn profile. Second is your connections. It's not the quantity, how many, it's the quality of those connections. Third, deals with content. How do you engage with other people? And fourth, are you building relationships? Your key to success on LinkedIn is relationships. You have to give in order to receive. If you want to find out your score, the link at the bottom of the slide will take you right to it. When it comes to score, your magic number is 70. That'll put you in the top 1 to 2% of all users. If you're really serious about being an influencer on LinkedIn, your score needs to be north of 80. Let's take a look at your profile. There are 16 items that make up your profile. And if you want to have an all-star profile, each one of these has to be completed. I've listed them here by order of importance. The ones in column 1 are the most important, followed by the ones in column 2, then 3, and then 4. Okay, repeat after me. Your profile is the key to making money on LinkedIn, period. And this is what I want you to remember. My LinkedIn profile isn't about me. It's about my clients and my prospects. I'm going to repeat that. My LinkedIn profile is not about me. It's about my clients and my prospects. When you connect with somebody, they're going to take a look at your profile. They have 3 questions in mind, and they're going to want the answers to these questions before they do business with you. The first is, what does this person do? They're going to find the answer to that question in your headline section. The second is, how can they help me? They'll find the answer to that in your about section. And question 3 is all about trust. Should they trust you? The answers here are going to be found in your content, your articles, posts, and testimonials. Okay, let's take a look at the LinkedIn ID. It's up here in the search bar. When you first join LinkedIn, they assign you a random number. This is a searchable field. So the first thing you want to do is to customize it with either your name, company name, or your best keyword. Next comes your background image. This is probably the most valuable real estate on LinkedIn, and very few people are using it to their advantage. This is the first thing that people see. When you first join LinkedIn, they put up a standard blue innocuous background. Well, you need to change that and take advantage of that real estate. It's a huge space, and it's searchable for your keywords. It's easy to do. I did mine on Canva, and I change mine out every 3 months. Remember, it's all about the algorithm. So don't just put up a company name. LinkedIn isn't about you. It's about what you can do for people. What kind of problems do you solve? Make it easy for people to figure out what you do. In my case, I try to keep your prospect pipelines full so that you can say goodbye forever to 0 sales days. Next up is your profile image. LinkedIn is a professional site. So please use a professional picture. First impressions matter. No dogs, no cats, no funny stuff. LinkedIn slaps you pretty hard if you don't have a picture. And if you want to appear in the search rankings at all, you need to have a picture. Next, we come to your name and your headline. The only thing I'm going to say about name is this. It's your first name and your last name and a suffix, junior or senior. Nothing cute. There's a lot of people out there teaching otherwise, but with the last couple of algorithm changes, LinkedIn is slapping the cutesters to the bottom of the search heap. Okay, your headline. Your headline is not your title. It's the problem that you solve or the solution that you provide. Put your title in your About section or your Experience section. Your headline section is keyword searchable, and you have 120 characters to use. My advice is to use every one of them. When you look at a headline, there should be no doubt at all what that person does for a living. Okay, website addresses. You'll find these in your contact info section. This is a great hack that very few people are using. You're allowed to have 3 website addresses. Most people just list their homepage and leave it at that. My first 2 links will take you to specific pages on my TW3 website that I have built specifically for LinkedIn members. My third link is an actual lead magnet that I created as a way to build my prospect and my email list. Use all 3 to your advantage. Here we come to one of the bigger sections. It's the About section. It's keyword searchable, and I implore you, in this area, don't tell your story because it's not about you. You want to use the word you, not I. And you want to stress benefits. You have 2,000 characters to work with. That's a lot of space. Tell them what you do in a way that relates to them and their needs. Your prospects should be able to look at this, and if they're looking for somebody specific and they read your About section, if the 2 of you are meant to be together, your prospect is going to make the determination at this point. At the bottom of the About section, you want to have a call to action. And there's usually 3 calls to actions. And you want to pick one of them. One is a direct message for more information. Second is a link to book a call. And the third is a link to connect to get a free resource. Next, we have Experience. Again, it's keyword searchable. We want to stress benefits. And in this section, you want to explain how you solve a problem. You have 2,000 characters to work with again. Again, a lot more real estate. And what you want to do here is to build trust. And I can't say this enough. It is not your resume. The majority of LinkedIn users are killing themselves here because they think it's a resume. It's not. It's hallowed ground. So stress the benefits. Again, it's not about you. It's about the person who is looking for you. As I wrap this up and look ahead, LinkedIn is where you want to be because all of your clients and prospects are already at this party. Remember that LinkedIn is first and foremost a database with a search engine attached to it. You want to be a problem solver. LinkedIn isn't about you. It's about how you can help your clients and prospects solve their problems. There's a right way and a wrong way to do business on LinkedIn. You need to stay current, and you want to avoid the LinkedIn slap at all costs. In my next training, we'll talk about connections and content. If you have specific questions and want to get in touch with me, you can email me at rac@tw3-marketing.com. Thanks a lot.
everybody, Miss Bellingby here. I thought I'd pop in real quick from the beautiful Alamo City to let you know about my new show, Look Up with Lori Brown. I'd be honored and grateful if you'll join me on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And I'll be talking and interviewing people about how to walk through that. If you'd like to connect or you have questions, you can reach me at LoriBrown7.com. My show will be streaming on tw3radio.com and the TW3 Radio app, and I can't wait to see you there. So when you feel like you're standing in stony ground, it's time to look up with Lori Brown. See you soon.
Listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner. And now, back to the TW3 studios with Terry Wilson.
All right, we're back. So we're going to go ahead and take some of your questions here. These came from email. First question actually comes from me. Do you know about these things called stickers? You can put them on stuff and it'll tell you what they... Yes. Never mind. So first question here.
I've got a scratch and sniff sticker right here.
The joke here, the inside joke is that he always presses a button and it's never the right button. He's got a soundboard here with some stickers.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
All right. Number one, through email. What's the difference between TW3 and other work from home businesses?
What's the difference? Bobby, I'll let you take that one since you are a TW3 member and know what it's like to be in business and maybe understand the nuances of our business better than others would.
I think the biggest difference between TW3 and a lot of other companies, it really boils down to tools, training, and technology. A lot of people tout themselves as work from home, but very few people actually give you a system. When we first start, those first, 6, 7 steps actually get you off running on the right foot. And I think that that's really important because most of these other home-based things or pay-to-play or whatever, is out there, they just simply send you the software and, they tell you how to turn it on and then you're on your own. With TW3, you've got all this training, not only in the back office, steps 1 through 7, whatever, but you also have, the Monday and Wednesday night training, and that's important. And that all leads into that 90-day money made guarantee.
Yeah, that's great. You're right. There's all kinds of businesses out there with different products, but how do you get in front of the people that need, want, desire, and can afford it? And you're right, Bobby. The tools and the training, the technology. Because to me, once you have that settled, it doesn't matter what business you're in. You could be selling bags of sand if you've got a tool to get you in front of people that want sand, but sure. It's about having that in place. So couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, and I'll add one last thing, after, last year, 2020 and all the COVID stuff, basically the thing that we sell today is trust, and we also sell relationships. And with TW3, you have the ability to do both. Build trust and build a relationship. And a lot of these other programs and products don't have that.
I agree. One of the thing that makes this business to me so rewarding is the people in it and the relationships in it. So it is great. And I appreciate you pointing that out.
All right. Second question here, also from email. How would the system work to generate leads for my coaching business?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's several different ways, and it depends on which area of coaching that you're working in. But one of the things I encourage anybody that's going into that space is when you're working in the coaching space, it's just like what Bobby just said. Coaching especially is so, when it comes to business coaching and things like that, and it's just like in sports, it's relationship. If your people don't trust you, if your audience don't trust you, if your fans don't trust you, then you're already on the backside of something. You've got to have that trust and rapport to have influence. And without influence, It's very difficult to be an effective coach. I mean, and I know to not to talk out of turn, but I know Bobby's got a show coming up tomorrow talking about John Wooden. You take John Wooden. Why was he so effective? In my opinion, I haven't heard your show yet, Bobby, but in my opinion, it's just the rapport and the trust he had with his players. I would imagine, just listening to some of them in latter years, if Coach Wooden said, "Hey, I need you to go out there and jump in front of that bus," okay, because they knew either the bus was going to stop short or it wouldn't kill them, but they had complete and total trust in their coach because they felt like the coach was pulling for them. And so I say all that to say those are all of the non-palpable things, the things you can't put your hands on that you got to have. The things you can put your hands on, we provide, like a podcast, the ability to create a podcast and radio show, the ability to build a blog. In other words, to put your content out there. And what's your content? Your voice, your heart, your personality, who you are, what your value system is. And when you can put those out there in a very effective way, in a non-pushy way, in a non-salesy way, but just say, hey, this is who I am. This is my worldview. This is what makes me tick. When you listen to Bobby's show, I mean, I am immediately drawn to Bobby because we got instant rapport. Why? Sports and baseball, mindset and worldview with his belief system. I know this guy. I never met him. The tools that connected me with him is his blog, his radio show, which is a podcast as well. And that's how I got to know him. And that's what you've got to have. And so how do you generate leads for that? Well, number one, you build the content for it. Number two, you start driving traffic to that content. And then your audience, your avatar, the people that are supposed to be connected to you will automatically come right there. Bobby, you got anything to add to that?
You said it all pretty good. The one thing that separated John Wooden from just about everybody else was the fact that he didn't see himself as a coach. He saw himself as a teacher. And he put things to his players in such a way that it was a privilege to go to practice. And he talked more about character building and the fact that if you played with the right character and if you put forth like 100% every time, whether it was in practice or in a game, the wins take care of themselves. And he was really preparing people for life after basketball. They didn't realize it until after basketball.
Isn't that amazing? That's absolutely amazing. And, just a little inside privilege here. I would say Dean Smith was a lot the same way. Coach Dean Smith from North Carolina, because, of course, I'm a Tar Heel fan in full disclosure, so I've got a bias there. But I've been able to talk to some of the people who's played with him. I got to go to basketball camp and meet the guy, and he had the same attitude. He was a teacher first. And, some things that he did off the court that didn't even make the media is the reason why he was such an effective coach. He was taking people to church with him up there in that little Baptist church in Chapel Hill when they were going through things. He was just a person of character. And I think any of these coaches that you see that are performing on that level, it's a lot deeper than the X's and the O's that they're putting on that board. It's a lot deeper.
It really is.
All right, Reagan.
Third question here. How can I start a work from home business and have a good chance while still working at my full-time job? That's a good question.
Yeah. A lot of the guys that are full-time with us now, they started off, as this being a side hustle for them. And the cool thing, and it goes back to the question Bobby answered on the front part of this segment, is when you have these lead generation tools, it can be working for you while you're at work. So you're at your 9 to 5, you're at your whatever, and you've got your system in place and it's generating leads, it's qualifying those leads. And then when you get home, you either have a list of voicemail, a list of email, but you've got an inbox of however you drive your traffic, of people that have seen what you're about, been qualified through the videos we give you, and then they want to have a more meaningful conversation. So you're not out, because I would tell you, especially launching a business, 90% of your activity is prospecting activity. You're just trying to find someone to talk to. you know, and if you've got a tool in place that takes care of all of that, then all you are is in that sweet spot. And it goes back to that, and I know I can't ever pronounce it because it's a French word, but it basically, he was an economist that was talking about the 80-20 rule. You know, that 20% of our activity is actually what's driving 100% of our results, and 80% of our activity is just a waste of time. And that 80-20 rule has been proven out over multiple spectrums of thought, you know, and disciplines, both in sociological, economical, and all different types of activity. So it's a pretty standard thing. Well, 80% of that activity is that prospecting activity. You can automate that with this platform. And then you're in that sweet spot of that 20% of your time. It's really where you're making your money. And that's having those meaningful conversations, building relationships with people, building trust with people, getting to know them, understanding what their needs, desires, and wants are, and then being able to facilitate something for them, which might be a business opportunity, might be a marketing tool. It might be sending them somewhere else that you've got a referral marketing relationship with, and you don't sell them anything. You're just able to give them value. But that's the cool thing I like about our business is it really does give you the ability to get in front of people, to build relationships and improve other people's lives in that process. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else, guys?
That was our last of our email questions.
Last of our questions. All right. Well, when we get back right after this, we are going to talk some baseball since we got the coach on here. I mean, we cannot. And so if you're not a baseball fan, you can tune out now, I guess. Reagan, you sit right there. You're still on the clock. Hey, Bobby, he was getting up.
Yeah, I figured that.
We get back. We're going to talk to the coach about the greatest greatest game God ever created, and that is the game of baseball. We get back right after this. Join us February 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time as we welcome to the TW3 studio legendary rock and roll drummer Chris M. Bowden. You've danced, dated, and cruised with tons of the hits that crawled out of the pocket and groove he created with artists such as Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald, Al Jarreau, and mega band Chicago. So join us Monday, February 8th at 9 p.m. as he shares his stories of playing, recording, and touring with the biggest hit makers and bands from the past 5 decades. Also sitting in with us to offer his insights, inspiration, and decades of entrepreneurial experience, TW3Radio.com's own Tom from Chi-Town. So don't miss this special night of inspiration, information, and illustrations of how you can make tomorrow the best day ever. Because you are worth more. Got yourself a good thing. It's a good thing.
He can't guarantee you success, but he sure can help you eliminate the excuses made so far for not achieving them. Now back to the TW3 studio with Terry Wilson.
You say they make stickers?
They do. They do make them. They sell them too. You can buy them. You don't have to make them yourself. You can go buy them.
I might be going to get some stickers after this show. I'm telling you, I've missed every button on this board. All right, Bobby. So we got you in here. We got to talk some baseball. First, we need a good either Tom Glavine, Greg Madux, or John Smoltz story. Rivers saying he wants to hear a good story. I told him you were in an office beside one of them or something like that. So I was going to let you tell that story.
Well, a few years back, I shared half of my office space with Scott Boras, the baseball agent. And whenever the Braves were in town, and they were on their way to the stadium, or any players that Scott Boras did work with, they all came by the office. And one day I had gotten a pitching package in. And one of the things that was always hilarious was that Madux, when he came in the office, would always go in my office and just sit down. And one day he was sitting in there with Andy Bennett, who was pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals. And Andy Bennett had gotten roughed up the night before by the Braves pretty good. And I had this, I had ordered this pitching package through the mail, and it had come. And I walked in the office and saw the two guys sitting there on the couch and said hello. And I just took the box and I threw it at Andy Bennett and said, "You need this more than I do." And went over and sat down. And, Madux was funny because, when he put his glasses on, he didn't look like a baseball player.
Oh, not at all. It was like Superman.
I'm 5'10", and it kind of felt like I was a lot taller than he was. And my wife, Debbie, spent some time talking with him, and, you'd never know from talking with him that he was the greatest pitcher of this generation. And there was one interview done a long time ago that really sticks out, and it was in Playboy magazine of all places. It's one of those magazines, you actually read this one for the article because it was on Greg Madux.
Honest, dear, I'm a Madux fan. That's the only reason I have this.
Yeah. Well, I ripped the Madux article out. Don't know what happened to the magazine, but I still have the article. And Madux said, it's 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's rubber to home plate. He said, "I'm willing to give the batter the first 55 feet." He said, "The last 5.5 feet belong to me."
Wow.
And that really spells up really what he was all about. It was pinpoint accuracy and late movement on the baseball, and he could disrupt hitters. And he wasn't a strikeout pitcher. He wasn't a thrower like they are today. He was a true pitcher. And, his job was to make you hit his pitch and hit it where he wanted you to hit it. And, very few people have that ability.
I've heard stories that he would give a signal for Bobby to come out of the dugout and come out and act like he was talking to them, just to deke the hitter or the other team, like something was up when nothing was up. Have you heard stories like that? Just little mind games that he would play in the middle of a game like that. Or they'd come out and say, "Hey, are you okay?" And he goes, "No, I'm pitching them this way because, two cycles ago, I gave him these pitches, so I'm setting him up."
The one that really sticks in my mind, and Madux was also a prankster. He would call for Leo Mazzoni to come out of the dugout, and Mazzoni would get out there and he'd be worried something was wrong, and Madux would go, "Man, is it a great day or what?"
That's funny.
And, he would point out different women in the stands and say, but, he'd be talking about the weather, and, Mazzoni would look at him and say, "Everything okay?" And he would say, and let me see, this was in Chicago. They were playing the Cubs in Chicago, and it was a great day. So we had Mazzoni come out, and, he was showing them the blue sky and saying he was pitching really good. And this was the only time that Madux or the Mazzoni was going to come out of the dugout the whole game. And Mazzoni said, "Well, what should I tell Bobby when I get back?" He said, "Oh, this guy's popping out to second base." And, Mazzoni goes back in the dugout, and Bobby Cox looks at him, and Mazzoni just says, "This guy's popping out to second base." And he, took his seat on the bench, and, sure enough, a couple of pitches later, the guy pops out to second base. And, Madux comes in, and Mazzoni was like, "Well, how come you didn't do it on the first pitch?" And he said, "Well, I wanted him to see a couple of other pitches before I got him out." And
That's awesome.
It was like that every 4 or 5 days.
He was absolutely
different.
Amazing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a chess player, and everybody else was playing checkers.
Yeah.
I mean,
he really was. And when the Braves won the World Series in 1995, the Madux had pitched the game before, Game 6, and he and Glavine were riding home in the same car. And, you know, all Glavine wanted to know was, you know, do you think we have him? And all Madux told him was, he said they didn't adjust. And, you know, Glavine went out the next night and, you know, threw the, you know, the 1-0 shutout. And, you know, the Braves win the World Series. But it was those little things. You know, he was totally under control at all times. And, you know, he really, really understands pitching.
Yeah, I mean, he literally...
As did all those guys.
Yeah. I mean, he was like a professor, almost. Now, do you think that's raw talent, or do you think that's time in the gym? I mean, do you think he just worked his craft to the point he was brilliant, or do you think he was raw athlete, or you think a combination, or where did his superpowers come from, Bobby?
I think he was a once in a generational. He's a once in a generation kind of guy.
Yeah.
But he knew, you know, with the instruction from his father, and remember also his brother, Mike, was a pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was a lot of baseball being discussed in that household. And, you know, Greg Madux didn't throw the ball 94, 95 miles an hour. You know, he threw it 90, 91. And he never threw the same speed twice to a batter during an at-bat. I actually charted a few of his games and wanted to see, you know, what the radar gun said. And literally, he was all over the board every at-bat. You know, pitchers today, you know, it's like they got one speed for their fastball. You know, it's 94, 95, and, you know, bing, bing, bing. It's all the same stuff. Well, a professional hitter is going to pick that up the second or third time through the lineup. But with Madux, you never knew what was coming. You know, he may throw a fastball 88 and then throw another fastball 91. And it's got the same spin, but it's got a different speed. And he was able to use his God-given talent to be able to mix it up. And he really understood what pitching is about, which is a real art.
Yeah.
You know, the guys today are more throwers.
Yeah, they just sling it.
But, you know, if you're just standing on the mound throwing as hard as you can, that's why you can only go 4 or 5 innings. You know, Madux had complete game where, you know, he would throw 70 or 80 pitches and he'd be done.
Wow.
For the day. And he would pitch all 9 innings. And there's some other statistics that I'm going to talk about this once the season gets started. And I don't have them here in front of me, but when you look at, you know, Madux, you know, how many batters he got to a 3-ball count on? It wasn't very many. You know, It seemed like the Braves last year were always pitching a full count.
Yeah, it seems like they were always in the pocket.
And, you know, he would throw 70 and 80% first pitch strike. And he never pitched from behind.
So he always had the leverage. Yeah.
And, you know, it's tough going up there thinking, well, I got to hit his pitch. You know, I want to hit my pitch.
True. So what's the major distinctions in your mind between the three, between Madux, Glavine, and Smoltz?
Madux was a Rembrandt. He could work both sides of the plate. Glavine was spectacular with a changeup away. And Smoltz was a hard ball. He brought it. And he had an effective slider to go with it. After he had his Tommy John surgery, he learned to really pitch at that point. But he could get people out. And having that combination where you had a big-time right-handed power hitter, or power pitcher, and then you had a crafty right-handed professor, and then a left-hander who could mix the ball in and out, up and down, but primarily his out pitch was a changeup. and then, early on they had Avery, who was a hard throwing left-hander. That was magic. And then Merker came in and he was a hard throwing left-hander. And, it was a combination of the 4 or 5 of them together that made them unbeatable.
Do you think baseball will ever see a trifecta like the 3 though? Again, I can't remember a time where one team had just 3 just
perfect pitchers.
Yeah. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing.
Well, the Dodgers had it in the 1960s with Koufax, Drysdale, Don Sutton, and Claude Osteen.
I got you. Okay.
And the Orioles had it in the 70s with Jim Palmer, Mike McCormick, and Mike Cuellar.
Okay. All right. Well, I stand correct.
I mean, I think you'll find that you can put that together. Like a Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling.
Right.
But, I don't think that you're going to have the lasting success, over a 4 or 5, 6 year stretch like the Braves had.
You think that's just because where modern baseball is right now with the pitching, where, back in the 90s, arguably it was pitching and now it's just more slinging?
Well, back in in the early 90s when the Braves started coming up, they had those guys under their early contract. So they had them tied up for quite a ways. Mazzoni was a great coach. He doesn't get the credit he deserved, because people say, well, look at all that talent. He didn't screw it up. And I think that's the biggest kudos you can give the guy. The only thing that I might have done differently, come the playoffs when you're into the short season, is that I would have started Smoltz over Maddox because I like hard throwers in short series.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, River, you got any questions for the coach?
I'm satisfied.
Are you satisfied? Are you completely satisfied with all this baseball talk now?
That was good.
Well, guys, we try to leave the stuff we want to talk about on the last segment. So if we do get a little too self-indulgent, well, you were warned. So, and we gave you all the value on the front end so we could get our payoff. Reagan, you got any questions about baseball for the coach? I know you're over there just looking up all his stats on your phone while we're having this discussion. I didn't wait.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Got it. It's a genuine question.
All right.
So Barry Bonds has an asterisk next to his name, right?
Yes.
When are we going to give Babe Ruth one? I'm out. That's all I got.
He's being disrespectful, Coach.
Well, I always looked at it this way. Babe Ruth played in an era where, the pitchers pitched all 9 innings. I wish that there would be a study done as to what innings Babe Ruth hit his home runs in. I mean, now granted, the guy could hit, but he might have been hitting some 50-mile-an-hour jobs at the end of some of those games.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that all the other home run hitters should have been on the Babe Ruth diet of beer and hot dogs. And then let's see how they perform.
Exactly. If you're going to make it even, let's even it up all the ways. Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you go across errors like that.
It's like that in every sport.
It's like that in every sport because me and you go back and forth between LeBron and Michael all the time.
It's always the championship thing, but Wilt Chamberlain holds the title, and it's like nobody's going to get 11 titles and score 100 points a game now. Like, it's just not possible.
Yeah, games evolve. People evolve.
Yeah.
The athletes evolve. I mean, of course, sometimes the evolution is done through chemistry, like what was happening in the 90s where everybody looked like Hulk Hogan. But I think a lot of that's got cleaned up.
It was their roided up guy versus our roided up guy.
Yeah, so, that's the thing. If all things created equal, I guess it's a sport still. Well, Bobby, thank you for being on tonight.
Hey, well, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
I hope. And my condolences if it wasn't. You got to see the behind the scenes things now. It's like, golly, these guys get paid for this? It's amazing. Well, that'll be it for tonight, guys. We hope you enjoyed the training that Bobby brought to you tonight about being a LinkedIn All-Star and the mindset. We do encourage you to go over and Bobby, you're on Tuesday nights at what time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So
Tuesdays at 7.
Tuesdays at 7. Make sure you get over there and check Coach C out on the TW3radio.com and soon to be released TW3 Radio app. If Apple would just hurry up, we got approved and everything. Now we're just waiting for them to put it in their store. But you'll be able to get the TW3 Radio app and also go to TW3radio.com Tuesdays at 7 o'clock and you can listen to Inside Pitch with Coach Bobby C here, and he's got a ton of value and mindset stuff that he offers there. So it's a great show, and I can't thank him enough for being part of the TW3 family. So guys, we'll see you next week. Tune in next week for episode 452. You're going to hear both from Tris M. Bowden, rock star drummer. It's been around forever, playing with all kinds of people. And we'll have special guest in Tom from Chi-Town up there in Chicago. He's coming in as well to be our special guest on the panel next week. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you for listening to TerryWilson3.com today. If you've decided you are worth more, then go to TerryWilson3.com now and get a free digital sample copy of the book. You are worth more. Listen, no one's going to give you what you're worth but you. So stop putting off and get started earning, enjoying, and experiencing what you are worth today. Go to TerryWilson3.com now to start your journey today. That's TerryWilson3.com.